Okay. We got this. We've got this. I decided to make a talking video today. I have tried to record this enough times to where I'm ready to go back to sleep. But it has been a second since I have posted a talking video. Okay. You realize, like, this thing just keeps not recording. Goodness, you really realize, like, how freaking lost you get when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Like, literally. Literally. Okay, so today we are going to talk about something. I have not made a talking video in a little bit. So I decided today was going to be the day that I started again. Something has been telling me, not really telling me, but preparing me. So I know I'm ready, but literally mentally I'm not ready because I wrote down these notes last night and I'm having a really hard time remembering anything I went over with myself. So, long story short, because this is the first talking video I'm doing in a little bit, I decided that writing down some notes would probably help the both of us. And goodness, if I didn't, I don't know where I'd be because I wrote down notes and I am lost right now. Oh my goodness, my brain just will not turn on. And I also decided that to kind of keep my purpose on track, I was going to talk about something I didn't learn necessarily just from this book. It's something that all of us have been learning. All of us already know. We might have forgotten, but this book taught me like a lot of things that I want to talk to you guys about. So anyway, this book is called Jewels of Light. It's Treasures of the Spirit to Enrich Your Life. It's a little book like this. In the last videos I recorded, I spent 10 minutes explaining why the cover of this book drew me to buy it. I don't think that's as important. So, in this book, it talks about 12 jewels. And in this video, I'm only going to talk about one of them. Mostly because we would be here for 5 hours if I wanted to try to cover all 12. But I feel like the first jewel is something that, I don't know, just this topic really benefits and fits the situation of what we are in right now. It's totally. So, here goes nothing. This book is written by Emery John Michael. And, I'm so uncomfortable. Okay. So, this is so weird, but okay. Alright. This freaking video is about the magic of the seed. Okay, snapping into it. I got this. So, I think one thing is for sure that we can all agree on. Whether we are religious, whether we are spiritual, whether we go to church or we don't, I think that we can all agree that there is some sort of intelligence that has organized this world. We may not know how or why or when or with what or what that thing even consists of, you know? Some people call it a higher power or a higher being or God or just a spiritual entity. But I think that we can all agree that there is a greater intelligence that has organized this world. I think it's also fair to say that with that greater intelligence comes a set of its own laws and principles of how it works, which was also a creation that was not done by humans. So that's kind of confusing. We enter this space. We can call it a planet, we can call it a plane, a dimension, a period of time. We didn't organize it. We don't control it, yet we're here. And we're expected to just, go about it. There's a lot of people who live here and who surround you. I mean, you walk outside and a lot of the times you're not by yourself. It's not quiet. You can't see all the stars. Lights are filled everywhere. You can hear a honk somewhere. You can hear tires turning on the pavement. Yet none of us really know how we got here, but we are aware of the fact that an intelligence greater than human could ever be created this. And I say greater than a human being will ever be because we're not just human beings, and that's not the only thing that we're limited to. That's just what we are as our spirit is right now. No human will ever be able to understand what this greater intelligence is until they have advanced from being a human, if that makes sense. And I don't want to get into some spiritual weirdness and people think I'm weird, but anyway, just because we find ourselves in this universe, in this dimension, we need to understand that it doesn't mean it's going to work for us just because we're here. It doesn't mean this place was just made for humans. And it doesn't mean that humans created this place just because we're here. So I think that's something that we as a species needs to kind of take into consideration. Just because we find ourselves here doesn't mean that we're in control of what's to happen. It doesn't mean we're in control of the future, in control of our destiny. That's not what that means. On page 25, Emery mentions, we must learn to work with the laws upon which life was organized. I completely agree. I do feel like sometimes humans feel as though it's our life, so we created it and we create what's inside of it. And to an extent, half of that is a little bit scratching on the truth, but the rest is a little bit disoriented. So what do I mean by that? These universal laws that are working with us being consciously aware of them or not even knowing about it at all, it has its own way of working. And I can honestly say that from personal experience, when you start educating yourself, questioning and asking just this universe, the presence of whatever intelligence made this place possible. When you start just even the simple task of wondering, it's not even just asking, but wondering. Because a lot of times when people ask something, they always expect an answer to come back right away. And the universe doesn't even speak the same language as us. So how could we expect it? You know what I mean? To even, you know what I mean. So when we learn to work accordingly with these laws, that doesn't mean to understand them solely, but to just have the awareness that they're there and that our purpose is kind of to understand it. Our purpose isn't to be the richest of riches, to travel everywhere, to have the most money, to have the biggest following. That's not really what it is. When you start focusing on what your purpose is here, not what you think you want to do or what you want or desire, when you start really asking the universe, what is my purpose? What is our purpose as humans? What is this world for? When you take your mind out of this 2017, 2018 world, and you see there's something more than just human intelligence, technological intelligence, something even bigger than that, you just doorways open, new ways of thinking, new ways of perceiving, new ways of learning, new ways of just taking things in. It's like you've sent out a vibration, and just the field that's around us felt that vibration. It gave it a little alert, a little buzz that there's a being that isn't so egotistical right now, who isn't becoming brainwashed and conforming to the masses, but is actually sort of kind of understanding that there might just be an intelligence out there that a human won't understand, but a human can acknowledge. Okay? A human's intelligence is only so far. Okay? The human brain is only so far. Our spirit inside knows a lot more than our little human brain does. And our spirit, I think, is way more connected to that universe out there than our human body is. You know? I'm promising you from experience, if you just change a little bit of your thinking, your mind changes it in itself. So many people think that they have to go through sometimes huge experiences or sad or tragic events to really learn something. But sometimes all it is just asking yourself if you're thinking the right way. If you're focusing your awareness on the right things, forgetting your definition of success, but just stop being a human for a second. You know what I mean? And just try and understand, I don't know how to explain it, okay? But it's literally like the universe is just a silent and invisible observer who just, it has its rules and it can tell who's going against the tide and who's going with it, and doesn't favor one person over the other. It really probably doesn't even have any personal preferences over humans at all. It's them giving a spirit, a vessel to grow in, and what that human does, that's up to them. What that spirit chooses to do with the vessel is up to them. This universe has organized this system of principles and laws for us to join, and we can either follow the rules and laws and learn how this place works, or we can fight against it our whole entire lives. We can feel depressed and torn down and just horrible about ourselves. Or we can just start asking, just wondering, we have an intelligence in our head, there's an intelligence out there, there has to be some golden string connecting us both, you guys, I'm telling you, not, like, there's no such thing as coincidences, there's no just, everything happens for a reason, there is a purpose, you have a purpose, everything has its own purpose, absolutely everything. Okay, let's zone out of just focusing on the universe, let's look at ourselves as an individual human being. My life right now is what I make it, alright? Every day of my life, I'm looking out on a field of dirt, okay? There's some things growing in some places, but all in all, I am young, I'm only 21. I am looking out on an immense field of nothing but dirt. Every morning I wake up, it is a new, freshly tilled field of soil. I cannot just stand here and expect a miracle field of strawberries, of peach trees, of grape orchards to just grow and thrive by me just standing there. Okay? You cannot just sit back and observe and without thinking, feeling, acting, any of that, just waiting for a miracle. Like I said, you're not sitting there thinking, wishing, praying, none of that. You are just standing there and waiting. You are waiting and expecting a miracle to happen. What do I put in my field? I told you this topic is all about the law of the seed. I take seeds. The seeds I plant them into my field. What are seeds? Okay, what are these seeds I'm talking about? Are they actual little seeds? Are they things and tasks that I have to do? Are they actions I have to, like, follow through with? Like, what are these little seeds? A couple of examples of things that are seeds are positive thinking, using your words wisely, getting your task done, caring for other people, using a relationship to not, oh my God, excuse me, to not only grow yourself, but to help the person that you're with grow. Anything that you put into this field, that's the only thing you can take from. You cannot take something from your life that you have not planted and that you have not allowed to grow. Okay? You can only reap what you sow. Trying to not sound cliche, but literally, you can only take out of your life what you put in. Taking out the notion of spirituality and this weird universal intelligence, present day, scientifically speaking. Newton's third law. If this stops recording, like literally, stop. God, trying so hard to concentrate. Newton's third law. For every action, there is an equal reaction. How come we understand that when it comes to science, but yet us as intellectual, spiritual beings outside of the human being we are, can't even understand that Newton's third law, the human that created and discovered that third law, that applies to the universe as well. You know, the universal intelligence that created all of this that we're in, that humans learn from and then pretend that they are the ones who discovered everything and that, you know, they're the magical being that, you know. For every action, there is an equal reaction that applies to everything. Understanding that simple equation scientifically is one step. Understanding that universally, that is a whole nother thing. It's not just scientifically speaking, when I hit a hammer on a nail, there's going to be a reaction of the nail going into the piece of wood. Can we not just think about physical anymore? Can we not just think about our physical bodies and what it looks like and what it feels like and what you want it to look like? Can we not just think about the physical actions we're doing anymore? This is the most important part of this video. Humans, young and old, actions are not just physical. I don't know why we have become so obsessed with these senses we have. I've made another video about just our senses. Don't be so addicted to them. They trick you. How can we let our senses be so arrogant to the fact that actions are not just physical? There's this saying, and it really struck me the other day. Actions speak louder than words. That saying right there has made so many people so mind-altered and delusioned that, like, that's not true. Words are just as powerful as actions. And it's people not understanding that is hurting this world so much, spiritually, physically, mentally. You have to understand action means saying, thinking, doing, feeling, wishing, praying, wanting. Those are actions. And what is the law? For every action, there is an equal reaction. You doing something mentally is just as life-altering as you doing it physically. When we can grasp this, I promise you, things will, oh my God, the fireworks will go off, yo. The fireworks will go off. Every single current you release will be brought back to you. Like, I'm sorry, but that's just how it works. You want to believe it works in the physical world, please don't tell me that you're not going to believe it doesn't work in the spiritual world. The non-physical world, we don't even have to call it spiritual. The non-physical. Literally, yo. Like, a thought is not just a thought, you guys. Like, there's another step before an action comes. It goes through your head. Your brain literally decides whether or not it's gonna do an action or not. Some people are just impulsive and don't care to think. That's because they do not take the time. They have shut down their brain's awareness system. They just do things impulsively. They don't care. They're so selfish and egotistical that they don't care. They just don't care. I think that's even worse than not knowing is not caring. Literally. I know that's pretty obvious, but everything is a seed being planted into the universe, okay? You cannot get mad at the universe for the things that are happening to you. You can't. It is not the universe's fault that it is growing the seeds that you plant. If you tell yourself you're ugly, do not get mad at the universe because you feel ugly and you wake up every morning disgusted with yourself. You have told yourself that year after year, day after day. It's only the universe working in its ways. It's doing its job, you guys. It's our job to do ours. You know what I mean? Literally. The world is only doing its job. This universe we live in that so many people hate and despise is only doing its job. Yet us as these beings are just so messed up that we can't even understand an intelligence greater than us because we're so stuck in our own heads that we're in. Here is what kills me. A lot of people learn this, they become aware of this. They start taking into consideration, maybe my thoughts, my feelings and emotions are why the actions and things and consequences of my life are happening. I'm telling myself how to feel, and now I'm surprised that I feel ugly and nasty because every time I look in the mirror, I tell myself that. So people, they get it. That little thing goes off in their head and they say, okay, all I have to do is I have to be positive. I have to change my way of thinking. I need to start being more aware. I need to allow more different perceptions to enter my head. Then they work on it for maybe a day, for maybe a week, or maybe 2 months, but then they give up. You have allowed your spirit to manifest a braid of poison ivy inside of your whole entire body for years and years. You have allowed for every bit of pain, every needle to poke you as it grows and surrounds itself around your heart, around your well-being, around your confidence, your self-worth. You've allowed that to manifest itself inside of you for 7, 8, 12 years. But you won't even allow yourself the time for a field of delicious fruit to grow inside of you. You let that stuff grow into trunks, not just branches, into tree trunks. You felt it, you watched it, and your spirit allowed it to manifest itself because the universe was only doing what it's supposed to do. But you only give yourself a month or a day to try to be positive to yourself. Do you know how long it takes a seed to root before it can even puncture the ground? We have seeds that are planted and rooting that haven't even sprouted yet that we have no idea about, but they're there. And we're gonna pretend to be hell of a surprise when those things pop up, but we planted it. And we're so ignorant that we didn't even realize it, whether it was just a thought, whether it was just an emotion, a want, a little desire that just impulsively went off in your head. You can't give up because things take time. Patience is a virtue, especially when it comes to the law of the seeds that you have. I will say it again. You have allowed a field of poison ivy to manifest inside of your life for years. Give yourself, give your spirit the benefit of the doubt and allow yourself to be positive for a year, for 2 years, for 3 years. It's going to take time. It's going to take just as much time as you've allowed yourself to be depressed and sad to get out of that. It takes time. It takes time. It takes time, patience, and faith. And further out in this book, oh my God, Emery literally says this quote to a freaking T, you guys. Like literally. Faith means acting with assurance even before the outcome happens. Faith means acting with assurance even before the outcome is known. It does not say faith means wishing and hoping and praying that a good outcome will come. It says that you act with assurance. You know the good is already going to come before the outcome even comes. That is called growth, yo. That's called awakening right there. Understanding that your thoughts, your emotions, your desires, everything is a seed that is being planted, whether you want to accept it or not. Every negative thing that you worry about, you will attract because you are just planting a seed after seed. And the universe is only doing what it's supposed to. It's growing what you plant. And then you get mad at it and you tear it down even more and you just keep planting negative things after another. And this universe is just, it's getting exhausted, you guys. Literally, it's going to shit out on us soon. It's going to shit out on us soon. Every deed plants a seed, and whether you like it or not, that seed will fruit. That is the funny part. We don't have control over that. Okay? You have control over the seeds you plant, but you don't have control over whether it fruits or not. You plant a seed, that will fruit. That will fruit. It's not like you could just take it back. You punch somebody and knock their teeth out. You can't just say, oh my God, I take it back, and it stops happening. It's just like telling somebody something horrible, degrading somebody, even thinking something negative. You cannot take that back, just like you can't take a punch back. You shoot somebody, you can't take it back. The fruit will fruit. Like, I'm sorry, but the fruit will be its consequences. They may be good and they may be bad. Consequences aren't always bad, and I think that's another thing people have misconstrued it, or whatever that word is. Consequences aren't just a bad thing. Emery quotes again, all is a direct consequence of the actions of head, heart, and hands. Oh my God, your brain, your soul, your freaking physical body, you guys. Every seed you plant will have the consequence of one of those things. It comes from all of them. You don't just plant seeds with your hands, and they don't need to be watered. That's the most amazing part. The universe will water it itself. It will water it till it grows to the sky, whether you like it or not. And then you say, shit, well, what the heck? I didn't mean to. I didn't mean it. You gotta be aware, yo. You really have to be aware. It doesn't just take, you can't just spend one day positively thinking. One day being nice to people and then expect your whole life to transform and just be this amazing thing. But you keep planting poisonous plants that you can't even eat, but you're forced to. Okay. Our behavior is everything, okay? We must take responsibility for the consequences we are in. I'm going to repeat that. We must take responsibility for the consequences we are in. It is no one else's fault, okay? One is truly wise when they can take account and take responsibility, take charge of their own affairs. That is a wise person right there. They take responsibility for every single circumstance they find themselves in. If they are happy, if they are sad, if they are depressed, if they are lonely, if they are miserable, spiteful, pitiful, greedy, they take responsibility for that circumstance, for that emotion that they are feeling in that present moment. And you guys, I don't expect you guys to believe me that it all starts with just planting a seed. That a thought is so powerful. It just starts with a thought. I don't care. You guys, like I said, actions speak louder than words. No. Thoughts speak louder than words, which speak louder than actions, which speaks louder than everything. It starts with the thought that's inside of your little head. The universe records everything. You don't have to physically speak something for people to remember it. That universe will remember every little thought, action, desire, impulse that came out of you. It is your awareness that this is happening that will transform your way of thinking, your way of perceiving, your way of being and acting, everything, your behavior, because you start to understand you are the only one who can solely take responsibility for the consequences that you are in. It is your thoughts that led to the actions that led to the consequences. Okay? You may not have had control over that situation that happened that was outside of your control, but you controlled the way you think about it that then will control the way you act about it. That will basically be your personality, you guys. That's another thing that is so important right now. So important. That it's the inside that matters, you guys. It's not the outside. I just watched a video the other day, and I will not name names. There are so many young girls out there who are in 2018 are just lining up doctors for plastic surgery. And I'm like, you guys, I thought we were supposed to be moving forward this year. Mentally, physically, spiritually, all of it. I didn't know we were just going to go buy confidence, instead of build it ourselves. Like, literally, you guys, who cares what you look like? That is not the purpose. You know how control is not ours to have? Notice how you don't control what you look like when you're a baby? Isn't that so weird? Yet people spend their whole lives trying to control the one thing that they literally have no control over. Yet they can control their whole entire life, the way they think, feel, behave, act. They can control that. But they choose to focus on the one thing that they will forever never be able to control. They work their entire ass off to fix something that they can't control. All of their hard-earned money from their mother, their father, from people that they make fund accounts, all of their hard-earned money doesn't even go towards something that is actually, something in their control. I'm telling you, you guys, I am telling you, not only does intelligence spring from the inside, you guys, authentic beauty springs from inside, okay? Spiritual understanding springs from the inside, and happiness springs from the inside. I cannot tell you. Sorry I'm getting worked up, but I cannot tell you how many people I hear on YouTube talk about, oh, here's how to be happy, here's how to be happy, here's how to be happy. But they don't talk about it's an inside job. It's literally an inside job. It doesn't matter how hard you physically work, happiness is an inside job, I have had to learn that the hard way. The absolute hard way. Lead yourself out of the ignorance and into understanding. Into understanding that your thoughts, they come with consequences themselves. Not just your actions, your wishes, not just your thoughts, your desires. Everything will either haunt you or help you. There's two choices, Haunt or help. There's two. And I get this is a tough one. This is a tough one. But if you feel like your life is an utter mess and that only bad things are happening to you and every card you get dealt is just the bad one, like the world, the universe is out to get you, you know what you have the ability to do? You have the natural ability to deal yourself a new set of cards. You got a new hand of cards right in front of you, and you can do it yourself. Isn't that so amazing? You just have to set forth the currents that you need to release out into the universe. You guys, I'm telling you, that's all. It comes in positive thoughts and actions. That's all. That's all. A quote that Emery says is, "We give to ourselves and we withhold from ourselves. Suffering is self-inflicted and happiness is self-bestowed." And after that I said that I learned that myself from my mom or dad. Mom and dad, shouldn't say mom or dad. I'm going to read that again. We give to ourselves and we hold from ourselves. Suffering is self-inflicted, you guys. And happiness is self-bestowed. It's inside of you. It's self-bestowed, okay? My mother and father had had a tough ending. And I never saw one of them give up. I never saw one of them allow life to be negative for them. They never blamed the universe. They never did any of that. They took responsibility for the consequences of their actions that they had done throughout their whole entire lives. And they realized that this is what happened. They were living their consequences. They were wise enough to not blame the universe, to not blame others, and to not even blame themselves, but to understand that it's their positive mindset that's going to help them be strong through this transitioning into the next life. Literally. I learned from my mom and dad that happiness is something that's within. Those two people were dying of terminal illnesses, and they still managed to be able to have a smile on their face, and yet somehow I am able to find an excuse inside of myself to wake up and not have a smile on mine. Yet I'm not in physical pain, yet their spirit was still beautiful. That's inspiration right there. You don't just plant seeds for yourself, you can also give seeds. It's not just you can, you do. Everything, every thought you give towards somebody, that is a seed, and it will fruit inside of them whether you like it or not. You tell somebody that they are ugly, if they're not wise enough to understand what type of being you are currently, that will fruit inside of them. Sometimes even if they're strong enough, that will still fruit inside of them. It is still a seed that is being thrown at them. That's why it is so important, you guys. This world will not change with just one person, with just one of us helping ourselves. That's not what it is. It's not just self-help. It's not. I remember before I deleted my millennial video, it's not just about self-help. Those are the only books you see in stores, how to help yourself. We got to learn how to help others too. It starts with ourselves, yes, but that's not where it stops. We have to learn how to help ourselves before we help others. Yes, but we don't just stop at helping ourselves. Literally, you guys, we don't. The seeds we give are just as powerful as the ones that we plant in our own lives. Consciously or unconsciously, you are giving seeds. Make it to where you are consciously in the habit of just giving positive seeds. Do you know how just flourished your life would be? How amazing and beautiful? You'll wonder why you keep getting dealt only good cards. You'll be throwing your good cards out to other people who you see suffering because you kind of get it. You took the time and you learned from your experiences. You taught yourself. You found it inside. It didn't even matter how many books you read. It really doesn't, you guys. It doesn't even matter what you read. It's about what you remember and what you learn. It's not about what you say, too, you know? It's all about in here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Looking into the bigger picture, our world, our environment, and every affair that we are in, everything, is a result of our givingness throughout human existence. This environment we live in, this world as a whole, every country, every continent, every person, and every animal. The world we are living in, the environment, and all of the affairs and sick things that are happening is a result of our givingness as human beings. Our ability to understand how important planting seeds are to the human race and giving seeds is. Positive, motivating, that's it. We have become a take race, and it is so starting to show. I can see how selfish almost each country is. We are a take race, and we are all living on the same place that we didn't even bring together. Literally. Understanding the total meaning of this seed literally allows us to anticipate the consequences of our behavior. Before it even happens, okay? Understanding the law of this seed allows us to understand the consequences that are going to come before we even act out. This giving of the seed too, it isn't a bargaining, okay? It's not something that you do to try to impress the universe or to show the universe like, oh my God, I can give. If it turns into something like that, that will diminish every single bit of good that there ever was. There is no such thing as bargaining. You can't become a class pet, a teacher's pet, nothing like that. Literally, You can't become favorited here. You can't. Literally, they don't even have eyes to see us, but this universe feels us. They don't care what we look like, you guys, so why do you care so much? Literally, it kills me. We are supposed to be moving forward as a damn species, and we have too many people obsessed with plastic surgery, filling themselves up to make it look like they're not even humans anymore. Like, oh my goodness. Giving should be done anonymously is literally what before I got worked up. That's what I was trying to get at. Giving needs to be done anonymously. It's not to prove to the universe how good you are. It's not to prove to your spouse how good you are, to prove to anybody. It's not about proving your position here, proving your purpose. It's about understanding your own purpose and learning how to dictate every action that you make. It's about even knowing how to control your thoughts. People always say, oh, you can't even control your thoughts. I've watched so many weird spiritual videos that talk about, oh, you don't even have control over the thoughts in your head. They're all preconditioned. Are you going to let them really condition you into thinking that? Or are you going to be the seed, the spiritual seed that we are? We're literally a seed planting being that is allowing to grow through our experience of being a human. Like literally, us, a spiritual being in the form of a human is allowing us to grow. That's literally what we are. Literally. Whew. We need to know when it is time to take care of ourselves, you guys. It is time to understand when we have a poisoned and just diluted mindset. It's not even pure anymore. We as individual spiritual beings need to know when it is time to take a pause from this material life and help ourselves so we can start helping others. Because right now, so many people aren't even helping themselves. So there is in no way, shape, or form a possibility that they're helping other people. Literally, this quote from Emery, you cannot remove dirt from someone else's eyes if your hands are soiled. That quote right there will make me damn emotional. You cannot remove dirt from someone else's eyes if your hands are completely soiled. Could you imagine the pain that would bring too? If a dirty human is trying to clean the eyes of somebody? That's why it always just dumbfounds me when people like look up to other people or worship other people, desire to be like other people. Bet you that person came over here and tried to rub your eyes clean of whatever it is that you get pretty damn dirty, because I bet you that person is not as pure and just well as you think they are. Cat hair in my eye. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's just true. And the reason why I know that is so important, sorry, my eye. There's a reason why I haven't been making talking videos, you guys. I am not the type of person who is going to, I get it. It seems like I talk out of my ass a lot of the time, but I know what my purpose is. Like, you know, I know what the purpose of what I'm trying to get at is. And I know that what I'm saying is always just a joke or always just a way of entertainment to try to get to what I'm actually talking about. If I am in a negative, just body, state of mind, how the hell can I help other people? I just went through some really weird things in my life. And it poisoned my way of thinking. It diluted my perception of life. It killed my self-confidence, my security, my self-worth. It killed me. And it was a point in my life where I realized it was time for me to help myself. I cannot clean your guys' eyes if my hands are dirty. That is something that I am so aware of, that I'm not going to make talking videos if I know that I am in an unhealthy state of mind. I cannot help people if I can't help myself. Speaking from experience, you guys. I am just as human as everyone else. I am a spirit stuck in a human's body, learning how this place works, learning how the laws of this universe work. So many people are so stuck up with trying to understand the laws of the government that they're under. It's deeper. Like, it gets so much deeper. I had to allow myself time for strawberries to grow inside of me, because for a couple months I was allowing poison ivy to take over myself, and it's not fun. It's not easy planting new seeds, but sometimes things happen, okay? It starts with awareness of your thoughts, and then the understanding of the law of causation, the law of the seed, to understand how to kind of start figuring things out. And it kills me because nobody ever talks about this. Our personality isn't just our physical appearance. It's our thoughts, it's our emotions, our feelings. Our outside appearance is so small compared to what really matters, you guys. That's one aspect that makes up your whole being. Why in any universe would you sell yourself short to only focus on one aspect of your multi-dimensional self? Back to what I was saying, sorry my camera died. Our personality is not the only thing about us that matters, that's important, you guys. What I've never understood is that you can't see your feelings, your behaviors, your emotions. You can on your physical body, you guys, but this is just like a decoding system and an expressor. That's literally what your body is. It is a way for your spirit to decode things and your spirit to express itself. A human can still be sad and depressed and not be crying. Your physical body, don't let that fool you. Don't let your senses fool you. There's more to us than just that. What people refer to us as like your energetic field, your aura, whatever, that is emanating around you. That is all of the things that you are giving and receiving as a result of your thoughts, your actions, your emotions, your desires, the seeds you are planting. That energetic field around you of everything that you are emitting positively. That is what people are talking about. You can see your physical body, but you can't see your emotions. None of that. You can't touch them. Just like you can't always see this energetic field. If you start learning how to see things deeper than just the physical body, you start learning that people are more than their physical body. You start really wondering why people care about their physical body so much. To the point where they will pay to go under the needle. Being selfish, miserable, or greedy, it will make you ill physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It is literally blocking universal tunnels. Exchanges of information, you guys, you get it from within. The universe can communicate with you from within. The universe communicates with your spirit in a language no human will ever understand. It's not something you hear with your human ears, you guys. This human body doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, you guys. Like the universal, literally, it's a flow of just abundance, okay? It is everlasting, unconditional, and only filled with love. That is literally what this universe is doing. It's trying to just love you. It's just growing the seeds that you're planting because it thinks that's what you want. That's what you say all the time. You think all the time. You act all the time. That's what your emotions show all the time. Like I said, the universe is only doing its jobs. The last thing I'm going to end with is a quote from Emery, and he says, "Perhaps life's greatest secret is that each of us is an immortal spirit seed. It's manifesting itself through physical life." We are love, you guys, and we learn that when we learn how to give peacefully, respectfully, and positively through our actions, our behaviors, our thoughts, our emotions, our wants, our desires, everything. We are supposed to be beings of love. Like, literally. Oh my goodness. It's just true, you guys. Your thoughts mean everything, and your thoughts dictate everything, you guys, and so many people just don't believe it. Don't be like me. Don't learn the hard way. Start taking responsibility. Start focusing on the consequences of your actions before they're even done. And you know what? Be wise enough to take responsibility for the affairs you find yourself in. Take control over your behavior and of your life and of your thoughts. I promise it is possible. It starts with planting seeds, and it finishes with being persistent, being patient, letting fruit to allow it to bloom. Literally, allow time to be of the essence. Don't wait for things to happen, you guys. Like I said, don't just stand there and wait for your field of strawberries. Waiting is not an action. I can promise you that waiting to change your life will forever hold you on pause. Waiting for something to happen, waiting for a prayer to come true, waiting for God or for some higher power to answer all of your wants, nothing will happen. It starts with you. It starts with understanding who you are, what your purpose is, knowing you're more than your physical body, and that all of the actions and thoughts that you put off will have a consequence. We've learned that in our physical world. Allow it to be understood in your in your spiritual world, because it's so true. It is so true. There's been a lot of weird things happening to me within these last 3 days. But I do know that I need to focus on talking videos this year. Yeah. It's just so weird. I need to go. Literally I'm dazed. I'm confused at myself. So I was just in a trance for 5 minutes. I have no idea what I was just talking about. Yeah, I do. But literally. Okay, I'm gonna go. So I hope that this helped you guys. I really do. If it was confusing and I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm gonna go edit this and see what type of mess I have to work with. But Emery, thank you for everything you have taught me and allowing me to teach other people what you have taught me. My spirit appreciates it more than my little physical body does. So I think that's my cue for it's over. I'm gonna go get that.